February and March have or will be absolute monster months for gaming. February saw the Dragon Quest VII Remake, Neo 3, Mewgenics, High on Life 2, Reanimal, God of War Sons of Sparta, a re-release of the original Rayman, a port of Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green, Mario Tennis Fever, and most recently Resident Evil Requiem. I haven't had time to play even half of those for reasons I'll get into, but then in March you'll have Pokopia, Slay the Spire 2 Early Access, a port of Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, the Fatal Frame 2 Remake, Monster Hunter Stories 3 if you're into that, Crimson Desert, and Mouse PI for Hire, to say nothing of potential new announcements we don't know about yet. We're at a gamer buffet right now. It's all you can eat, and the fatter you are, the more value you get from participating. I'm eating like a pig serving cunnilingus right now, I'll tell you that, and they ain't feeding us slop. 6 of the games I mentioned are certified 9s out of 10, either from published reviews or my own personal experience or expectation for the ones that haven't come out yet. Pokopia and Slay the Spire 2 are going to be insane. Slay the Spire 2 by default, but Pokopia had to convince me and has largely succeeded. Pokemon is fucking back, dude. After that Pokemon Presents, but more on that later too. I want to start with the game that has been actively ruining my life. My productivity, my drive, my efficiency, my sleep schedule, my relationships, they are all suffering because of one game that I cannot put down. I wish I was playing it right now instead of typing this. I don't even want to talk about it because that's time I could be spending playing it. That game is Mewgenics. I have been deep in the trenches of breeding cats, giving them classes, sending them on turn-based tactical RPG adventures, and having them fight other mutant cats and creatures so they can level up, get strong, and come back and pass down their traits and abilities to the next generation to go out and do it all again. I have 80 hours in Mewgenics, and it says I'm at about 39% completion. It's the perfect roguelike. In all that time, there is still so much I haven't seen. I am still running into new enemy types. I only just got to Act 3, which means there's still several biomes for me to explore, but even the repeat biomes don't get old because of how differently you have to approach every combat depending on your squad. This is the counterpoint to all these fake roguelikes like Returnal and Night Rain, where nothing is different run to run. This is the example you need to look to, and you can do it for half the price. But some of the people who meow in the game are problematic. Bitch, I don't give a fuck. You couldn't pay me to care if Adolf Hitler himself was out here purring and hissing in my squad. As long as his stats were good, I'd pass down every gene he has. Anyone who that matters to, I'm glad they're not buying the game because they don't deserve to play it. Shut yourself out of one of the best indie games ever created, and let's see which of us regrets our choices. Moving on to Pokemon, they revealed Generation 10 in the most recent Pokemon Presents, including the world and the starters, calling it Pokemon Wind and Waves, and as someone who has been a Pokemon hater for the last 2 or 3 years, I am pleased to tentatively say that era is over. This game looks good, man. It's just flyover shots of the world, but the graphics and art direction already look so much crisper and prettier, and it doesn't come out till 2027, so they're bucking the usual 3-year turnover to have more time to polish it up, which will hopefully pay dividends. It's also the first Pokemon game other than the shortly arriving Pokopia to be Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive, so it'll be the first mainline Switch 2 exclusive game, unburdened by the limitations of making a Switch 1 version. This is a lofty comparison, but that idea reminds me of how insane Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart looked and felt compared to its predecessors when it became the first PS5 exclusive of the franchise. The potential is there. The expectations shouldn't be quite that high, but we are undoubtedly getting a large leap in technical prowess for Pokemon standards at least, and that will be something to celebrate. Of course, there's still bots in the comments of the trailers that are like GameCube graphics who have never seen a GameCube game before that hasn't been upscaled to heaven on their emulation software, and even then it's not a real comparison. Like, I was with you back when it was applicable. Scarlet and Violet had certain textures that were dead ringers for PS1 games, but as Pokemon continues to evolve, so too should your eyeballs. Pokemon ZA looked pretty decent, but turned out to be a bland, repetitive game with not much to do. I don't see that being an issue when it comes to a mainline entry. Scarlet and Violet were an inexcusable mess, but there was stuff to do. I might even start buying Pokemon DLC again. As far as the starters are concerned, I like all 3 of them. You got the Grass Bird Braut, the Fire Dog Pombon, and the Water Gecko Gekwa. 2 of them are kinda similar to previous starters, Rowlet and Sobble, but we'll see what their final evolutions are like, and I already have a good feeling that Gekwa at least is going to be a much better version. Also, Pombon is a fire Pomeranian. My family had a Pomeranian mix as a pet for 13 years. That's Ella as far as I'm concerned. That is my dog reborn. It's adorable. I'm still picking Gekwa though. I have a sneaking suspicion its evolutions are going to end up being waifus. Not that I'm into that, especially when I already have Lopunny. I am halfway through Resident Evil Requiem, and this game is extremely good. That's all I can really say yet. Some people are calling it their new favorite Resident Evil game, and I can see why. I've already been traumatized by a certain boss that hardcore activated one of my phobias, but I'm excited to get back in and finish it soon. And that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can like, share, and subscribe. Watch all my other videos while sending waves of hatchlings at me, and I'll see you guys next time.